What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Diamond Club podcast. I am John Hunter. This is Chris Lahiff. We are without Danny, the Pitchman Hart tonight. But Danny, if you're listening, please send us an SOS because we have been looking for you. But Chris, wild weekend of baseball. Wild weekend of Phillies baseball. Put it that way. There has been a lot of weirdness that happened when it came to the umpires. Between the running out of the baseline mystery that I'm still waiting for McCutcheon to run out of the baseline. Then obviously last night with the faux 3-run home run that didn't end up getting hit. What do you think of that? Like, what do you what the hell just transpired over the last fucking weekend with the Mets?
I don't know. I guess maybe the umps forgot how to play. I don't know. Call a game. Now, first thing I'm going to touch base on it is I'm going to touch base on McCutcheon. Like, let's be realistic. He wasn't. I don't know what the hell what he saw. Like, it's amazing. Like, I'm still waiting for it for him to run run out of the baseline. And like TK and Rises put, it. I know you're not for it, but it's going to happen. I know.
But why? Why is everyone so crazy on the robot umpires? Because I don't know if anyone's played video games. Even they get calls wrong in video games. You don't think that they're gonna fuck? You don't think they're gonna fuck up? What happens if during a game, right, something crazy happens and there's no technology and you're fucked with the rest of the game? Stop. Like, we got to stop thinking about robot umpires and start thinking that these umpires got to be trained better.
Well, I think when we sit there and say the robot umpires, I think we're looking at, you're going to need the umpires for the outfield. Like, that's inevitable. We can't just sit there and think that robot.
The strike zone won't work either.
I know, but if
everyone's strike zone's different.
But I get it. But if you're looking at how we are right now, the argument is being made for people to want robot umpires. I don't want robot umpires, but I'm more and more coming to the side of something's got to be done to be fixed. Like, something's got to be done. All right, he got up and walked away. I guess he got mad at me. Did you get mad at me and walk away?
No, my dog started eating some paper towel, so I had to go grab that. Yeah, 90% accuracy, but you know what? That 10% is what's going to end up fucking people. And you think 90% is great, right? But we got to start thinking about the 10%. You don't think that the umpires regularly get about 90% of the calls right? Because they do.
No, if you go back and you look at what is it? The accuracy and the percentage, it's only percentage points. It's like 0.4%. It's not that much different.
Yeah, he just said 86% for humans.
All right, there you
I'm
go.
okay. I'm okay with that.
So, I think right now we're so with everything that has happened in the just going the last week. What was it? The Brewers and the Marlins, where the guy said that the pitcher got in the way of the runner when he went to go tag him. I think it was the Brewers and the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm still. What was that call? That doesn't make any sense. Like, and then obviously we had the McCutcheon call and we had the Conforto call. And then we had the Alec Boehm. I'm still waiting for him to touch home plate call.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like it has benefited us.
It's a full beer, bruh.
No, this dude looks like a member of ISIS. But yeah, no, but like, and again, TK and Rise Keith. He'll know that I'm never for the robot umpires, but it's looking more and more like it's going to happen sooner than later.
But you haven't even seen shit yet, bro, man. You haven't seen shit.
So
this is tamed.
This is it.
But anyway, when it comes to the robot umpires, you're asking for more trouble. Because then who are you arguing with when that 10%'s wrong?
I guess Major League.
Honestly, who do you argue with?
But here's
nobody.
But here's my thing. Like we'll go back to last night. We'll talk about Reese's home run. We'll go about that. But about his reaction, how we talked before the show. The ump didn't make that call. New York or New Jersey made that call. Like that was not that ump. Like he wasn't looking at the replay, and he's getting mad at the ump. He needs to get mad at New York or whoever it is that looks at it, not at the ump. The ump is going what the former official said. Like, no, it hit the top of the fence. You know,
and he was right.
And I don't know, maybe
so that's part. So that should be a part of the 86%. That's right, right.
So I don't know, Reese. Instead of getting mad at him, I don't know. Maybe instead of just lollygagging that ball and letting Villar score, I think it was Villar score from first to third, and then he just lobbed the ball to Maitan, if that's how you say his name, and he scores. Like, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And that tied the game right then and there. Changed the entire tide. The game was just turned in that minute. Like that stupid play by him changed the whole outcome of the game.
100% it did. And I said it earlier as well too. There's a ball like that ball that he dove for earlier in that, and was like later in that inning. It was a bunt from, I believe, Taiwan Walker. Yeah. Came out and laid down a bunt. So he lays down a bunt, right? That ball's in the air. It's not like it's a ball that hit the ground and you can smack it out. Hoskins dives for it in play. If he just touches that at that point, that's a live ball now because it never touched the ground.
Right.
That could have been two now dumb moves by him.
Yeah.
And like defensively.
Yeah, and
like he caught it, so it didn't look stupid because he caught it. But if he doesn't catch that ball, we're talking about another bonehead move he makes on defense. I don't know.
So
it's rough, dude. And then you have the like, and I get it. Like no matter what, you're going to run into issues. You're going to run into issues with umpires. Fuck, we ran into issues with umpires today in our game. But like, it is what it is. Like that's part of the game. We got to stop taking. Human error is a part of baseball. It always has been. Like, so if 86% accuracy is for human beings, that's probably 86% more, or definitely more than the normal fucking job you have. Like 86% is a nice percentage for like, I don't give a fuck. Like you want 100%, you're never going to get it. Like T-Cam Riza said, it's 90% accuracy in the minors for the bullshit. Like the fucking the fake one, the robot. That not even that's 100%. So if you're aiming for 100%, it will never happen. Robots are no robots, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, that was another thing they mentioned on the broadcast last night is I didn't know you could only throw over to twice the first base in the minors.
Yeah, well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to limit it. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to speed the game up, and I get that. But the game is what it is. You can only speed baseball up so much. So they need to really stop focusing on speeding it up and just focus on being able, like, they're focusing so much on speeding games up, right? But what they're not focusing on is promoting baseball players. Tell me how that works.
Well, that we all know how that goes, unfortunately.
They refuse. They refuse to fucking to do anything like that.
But we all know where we're going next with, we went to the Kutch McCall. Now we'll go to last night's game, and we won't even talk about the home run. Let's talk about Girardi and his constant bringing in every single player to play.
I don't get it. I feel like a broken record anymore when it comes to us being on here and us talking about the subbing the outfielders in this anywhere from 6th to 8th inning for literally no reason. None of them are better than the other one defensively. So it's not like you're bringing in like this stud defensive player to shore up outs. You're just digging yourself more holes. That's all you're doing. That is literally all you're doing is digging yourself more holes. Like he's draining his bench every game without fail. Like we have seen every player who's played for the Phillies, and we are what, a month in, 2 months in. Like and it's not because they're playing full games. Like no, he's subbing them in mid game. I'm very very confused on this managing style that he has because it doesn't make any sense to me. And I guess maybe it doesn't have to, but I mean, what the fuck, dude? Like, stop subbing guys out mid game.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And like you said, it's becoming frustrating because you want JT to have a full night off. I've accepted for what Andrew Knapp is. Andrew Knapp, he's a good backup. It is what it is with him.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Let him play the whole game. Like, there's no reason to bring in JT Realmuto because you don't have a bench. Like, and I know he's hurt. That is a big dude who's coming up the bat right now. Daniel Vogelbach.
Daniel Vogelbach.
He
used to play for Seattle. He all he does is hit homers.
Did he eat everything in Starbucks? Because he looks like he's big.
No one ever eats anything at Starbucks, so don't ever bring up Starbucks. Starbucks sucks.
He ate it all.
They don't. Starbucks has zero food that's good.
I didn't say they were good.
My father-in-law recently brought up a lemon cake that they have, and he said that is literally the best thing they have. Isn't that disgusting? Lemon cake. Lemon cake is their best option.
Oh, I tried their coffee. I drink my coffee black. Just to get off topic, I drink my coffee black, and you could start a rocket. It's like rocket fuel. But anyway, like we're going back to like Girardi and using all the bench players. Like, why? Why are we using all the bench players? Like TK and Rises. Send me the stat that you just said about Vinny Velasquez. He actually just texted me a stat. He just texted me a stat about our pitcher's batting average, which is ridiculous compared to like the number 8 hitter.
Don't say the number 8 hitter. Don't say the number 8 hitter. Say what position it is.
The center fielder.
The center fielder. That's what it is.
Can we just move Bryce to center field for like 2 games, let him get like 6 hits, and then put him back in right field?
Pitcher has
there it is.
There
it
is. Yep.
that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, but I mean, also to throw this out there,
it's like 4 or 5 at bats.
It's a fucking taxi squad that's out there right now. I mean, yeah, Brad Miller is playing. Fucking Matt Joyce again is he in the leadoff spot again tonight?
Yeah.
I don't get it. The only time that he moves anybody other than Andrew McCutchen out of the leadoff spot is when he puts fucking Matt Joyce in there. Why does Matt Joyce have the second most starts at the leadoff spot?
So here, I'm going to throw this.
Makes no sense to me.
So obviously, McCutchen is struggling. Matt Joyce is struggling. Like we know,
McCutchen swung the bat pretty nice the last couple of nights.
Right.
He hasn't looked too bad.
No, well, that's what they're saying. They're saying he's starting to come around.
Yeah.
So say he goes into another slump.
Okay.
Segura comes back.
No.
Okay. As long as you know where I'm going with this.
Segura's not a leadoff guy.
No. It's not what I was going.
Good.
Would you put Maton in left field?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. That's where I was going because the argument is like, oh well, maybe we can move Maton to center. I'm like moving.
I'd move McCutchen to center and then have him play left.
Exactly. That's because at least McCutchen's played center field.
Before, yeah.
Right.
He looks miserable in the outfield, but
yeah, like I don't know where Maton has played his high school, his minor league career. Like he seems like he was an infielder his entire career. It looks like he plays a good infield. So I feel if he doesn't slow down and he continually gets hits, he's got to stay in the lineup. Does he not? Like,
dude, the Phillies are the Phillies are probably so happy right now that Maton is actually playing well because it is taking so much pressure off them to bring up Bryson Stott.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and they can just leave him down there for at least until after All-Star break. Right now with how Maton's playing.
Oh yeah, well, and that's another thing. Minor league is starting. I think it starts.
It started yesterday. I think I saw.
Yeah,
There was a couple guys who were out there. There was a couple games I saw that were yesterday. Because I saw a couple minor league guys posting about it.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Bryson Stott can do. I'm hoping, well, I'm not hoping. I'm hoping Mickey Moniak crushes the goddamn ball where they're like, all right, dude, we got to bring him up. Like it's let's bring him up. Like again, like if he's batting 400 after 2 weeks in AAA, bring him up. Bring him up. Like I know your stat.
They're just afraid,
right? And I know your stat about what is it, Dustin Pedroia? You know, he batted 090 for like the first 2 months. You know, the only thing that I'll put out is he had a good, really good AAA season the season before. Unfortunately, Mickey didn't have that because of COVID. But if he tears the ball up, they got to bring him up. Like, especially if I don't care that Roman Quinn is this defensive outfielder that, like, because you know, like look how many posts I put. I'm like, I hate Roman Quinn. I hate Roman Quinn.
Yeah, fucking right.
And I'm like, I love Roman Quinn. Everyone's like, what? You love Roman Quinn now? I'm like, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
but like, it still amazes me that Roman Quinn is still on this team. Like, he hasn't, other than tonight and that triple he had, he hasn't really done anything.
He would have got sent down if he had options. He has no more options, so he can't get sent down to minor league. It's pretty much either being released or nothing, and they don't want to eat that money for whatever he's owed. I don't even know what his contract is, but I know they probably don't want to eat whatever the money is for the rest of the year for a spot that's not even there.
Yeah, if I'm thinking correctly, like if I'm gonna think like okay, we have Moniak, you know, we hope he comes up. You know, Maton's ripping the cover off the ball, so he's batting this. So maybe if they can get Quinn up the bat in like 250, 260, even 240, trade him for like a minor league arm.
Who the fuck do you think Roman Quinn is? That's what I need to. You think he can get up to 260?
No, I don't think he can get up. I said if.
That's a huge if. If he gets up to 260, you keep him. You don't trade him. You don't trade him. You keep him. If he gets up to 260, you keep him. I'm not saying he's a starter at that point, but if Roman Quinn's batting 260, he's a nice bench piece for them. But he's not even that right now.
Well, right. But I'm saying is, okay, so you would keep Roman Quinn and then Maton's ripping the cover off the ball.
Yeah, you keep him, but I'm not saying start him. You keep him though.
But hold on, then you got Mickey Moniak who comes up and he's doing good. Obviously, you got Bryce. So we know Brad Miller is going to stay on the team. He's your veteran bench player. You know, then what do you do with Kutch and Matt Joyce?
So this is the thing. We have to stop looking at baseball or sports in general, pro sports in general, as if they are Madden, MLB The Show. You don't just trade guys like Roman Quinn, McCutcheon. Roman Quinn doesn't have much fucking value. Has almost zero value. Nobody wants major. Not a lot of people want to trade. Like, what did you want? You said you wanted a minor league pitcher.
I was just saying like an arm.
But like that's the thing is, if you're looking for a minor league arm, usually there's not many just crappy minor league. Like there's don't get me wrong, there's the minor league, so there's not like they're not like the top talent. But a lot of teams don't keep crappy talent just down in the minor leagues. You know what I mean? There's a reason why Matt Moore was in the majors and it didn't go to the minors, because minors is for developing. They're not going to try to develop a random talent. So if you're trading Roman Quinn for a minor league relief pitcher or whatever, the guy's probably good, which would mean he has value, which would mean that the Phillies are going to have to trade value for value, and he has zero value right now. Roman Quinn does not have any value at all. No, he barely has any plus to him right now. Like right now, he looks like the best option right now. After last night, he had a triple. Tonight, he's got a double, an RBI double. Right now, he is their best option. Do I think he's a good one? No. But he's at least doing something when he's out there. He's got the most opportunities, too, which it just goes to show you keep giving a guy opportunities, good things can happen.
You know, Matt Moore was the number one prospect that year he got drafted.
Yeah, he was, and he was a number one overall. He was a top prospect in baseball
Right. He was. It
when
was.
he's with the Rays.
It was him and Bryce Harper. They came out the same
Yeah,
year, right? Yeah.
and
It's just
that's makes
just
sense.
go and go to look at that. Who was it? I think Trout came out that was Trout come. No, was it
Trout was
Trout?
the Trout. No, Trout wasn't the same year as
No, Trout
Bryce.
wasn't. Maybe I think Matt Moore and Bryce were together.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he's the Strasburg draft. Was
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that's where he like. But he was there was a lot of like he was a really good. He had good stuff. He just was dealing with injuries. He it's the same as everybody else, man. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. It's a lot, dude. There's a lot of little things on this team that annoy the fucking shit out of me. I mean, it starts with Girardi and pretty much ends there too. He just he makes he just makes me so angry when it comes to some of his moves. Like I don't know. It's Harper Machado was the same here. Yeah.
Thanks, TK and Rises.
Yeah. Like there like Harper can't be the only one doing stuff. And like you saw that the other day. Now he's hurt. I mean, he got hit in the face, but now he's hurt. Like
Right.
he hurt his wrist the other night, and you could tell. Whenever I guess it was when he tried deflecting that ball off his like from hitting him in the fucking face, he did something because he definitely tweaked it again last
Yeah.
night when he tried swinging. He probably shouldn't even have been up in that last at bat. And you could tell he was pressing. He was almost doing like an Ichiro type of swing where he was like running towards first base when he was swinging the bat. Like you're putting him now in a spot where he's being almost forced to like, and it's a big spot, which I understand. He's your big money player. It's a big spot. He wants to be up in that spot, and I get that. But like, you got to figure something else out because he can't be the only one that we're okay with being in a big spot. More things need to happen.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like he emptied his bench. If Bryce Harper was injured, you now have no one to pinch in for him.
Yeah,
Like
and
and you know
the dude was laying out a bunt because he literally could not swing the bat. He
yeah,
tried getting on a bunt single to try to figure it out because that was the only way that he knew that he could get on. That's
and
a
then
gamer right there.
right, and then people say he's overrated. He's this, he's that. And they don't know what's actually going on with Bryce Harper. Like his head, he got hit in the face. Like,
And
and
came back a couple days later as if it was nothing.
but he probably should have went on the injured list at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Just
Mike
to,
Trout.
just
By the way, Mike Trout was Strasburg's year.
okay. Did you ever hear the story why the Phillies didn't really want to draft him? They don't like the
Didn't
local.
want to
Didn't
didn't want to
draft
draft who? Mike
Mike
Trout.
Trout. They don't look at their local prospects. They don't think that highly of them. Google it. It's mind boggling.
I don't even. It also could be because I don't think they had a first round pick that year either.
I don't know.
They didn't.
They didn't have a first round pick.
2009 though they won, and that was the year that they went to the World Series anyway. So they wouldn't have had one anyway. They won the
Okay.
World Series the year before, which would be
Okay.
the year that. So that's how that would work. They wouldn't even have had a shot at him anyway because he was picked 24th, I think. I just
Yeah, but if you go back and look, they talk about local
25th,
prospects.
25th.
Like they look at local prospects and they weren't real high on the local area prospects, which is like what? That's ridiculous. Look at them, let them go. Like look at Mike Trout. Everyone thought Mike Trout was coming to Philly. Well,
I
Bryce Harper
mean,
was here and Carson Wentz was here.
that's another thing that I would like to say, like, because I brought this up the other day about like things that really annoy me when it comes to the city of Philadelphia. Like I have a lot. Obviously, I have a lot. I live here, so there's a lot of things that fucking get me annoyed. But like one thing that always pisses me the fuck off is when people talk about Mike Trout and they're like, "Bring him home, bring him home." He's not from he. He doesn't live here, and he didn't live here ever. There was never a point where he lived in Philadelphia, ever. He didn't even live. He lived an hour away, and you're telling me to bring him home to where? He's not from here.
Oh, and he lives in California.
Yeah, and like he doesn't. There's a reason why he didn't sign here. He didn't want to be here. And yes, because we are the people, the smell, the fact. Was it the fact that we are just cammed in with a Liberty Bell? That is very true.
That is right. Unfortunately, that's where we're at. But that's the
It's
thing is
just
like Philadelphia at times it's not an enticing town to come to. Like it just isn't. Yes, I will always. I know I'm going to catch flack for this, but I know. Nice play, bomb. I know our fans. We're very passionate. We love our teams. Just because we're passionate doesn't mean we're very smart. Like
smart,
there's yeah, they're not really
uneducated.
and I don't try and I don't try to be that guy, but when you sit there and you hear these people talk, you're just like, what? Why? Like when you sit there and say they were just talking like a couple weeks ago. Bryce Harper hasn't lived up to his contract. He's overrated. He's not that good. He's not one of the best players in the baseball. He's no Mike Trout. Well, we know he's no Mike Trout. Like we
He
know
knows
this,
no one is Mike Trout.
right? If
Babe
anyone's
Ruth, Babe Ruth was not Mike Trout.
right, and we know this. We know this as fans. But there's people who think he should be him. And again, he's never been that guy. Go back to his 100 RBI seasons. He got 3?
Too.
He's got 2. He's got 2. And that goes to one with Nationals and his first year here. And his first year here was a career high. So and think about it. There was a career high in RBIs and he had 42 home runs. I know we talked about it before. He had 42 home runs and drove in 99 runs. You know what? And he batted leadoff that year. I don't know how many games he did, but he batted leadoff that year.
More bats. I'm pretty much over the begging for him to bat leadoff. I beat that into the fucking ground, but people are just refuse to do it. Are you trying to go? Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. We got on a little late. One of our.
But I'll tell you what. Monday Night Raw, the ratings there have been awful as it is, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm not going up against AEW on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So, but but when my friends that I talk to who they're very sports, they're very intelligent. They know they're realistic. They know that we're very hard on our players, and I'll never understand it. I'll never get it. I don't know. It's mind boggling how hard we are on our players. And even the media, people will sit there and say the media this, the media that. The media is 98% of the cause of the Philadelphia sports issues that we have as fans. And
yes.
I say it all the time. I don't know how many times I need to say it, but you between Twitter and Reddit and the Inquirer and the Daily News and the Facebook pages itself, I just wish, the latest on one I saw, it's not latest, but 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Carter Hart was the reason that the Flyers suck this year. That was the article. I'm sorry, what? There's more to it. There's more to it than Carter Hart was the problem of the Flyers. But the guy went with the hot take and just blamed this 22-year-old kid for the Flyers' struggles this year. Never looked at the defense, never looked at the offense, just looked at that. We know what the Phillies' problem is this year. It's the inconsistency of the batting order. It's the center field problem. But, it'll be by the end of the year, it'll be, well, the center field problem was the issue, and Bryce Harper didn't drive in enough runs. That's what that's what it's going to be. You mark my words. What's today? May 1st, May 2nd. I don't even know what day it is. I forget. Or it's May 3rd. I think
May 3rd. Yep.
Yeah. Tomorrow is May 4th. May the 4th be with you all. But and then why is Bryce Harper is loved in this town? I don't think there's anything anybody could do to discredit Bryce Harper except the media. And there will be those fans that will run with it and say, well, we need to get rid of him. The talks were up last year about trading him. I'm like, what? What are you trading Bryce Harper for? Because of the salary? Get out of here.
They wanted so I saw, obviously we all saw that craziness that went on in the offseason when they were talking about getting rid of Wheeler, getting rid of, like it was like that whole it was like a weird week where it was just a bunch of bullshit in the media saying that the Phillies were just pretty much in over their heads and they were just ready to trade everybody and all that stuff. But like that's the problem with the media, is that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but they just make stories up that end up sometimes coming to fruition and end up making they almost make whatever issue that they made up in their head happen. I mean, for instance, Carson Wentz. Look at that situation. The media completely manifested that entire thing. Completely. There's a reason he's not here anymore. Has nothing to do with him hating Philadelphia or it's clickbait. That's all it is. All they wanted to do was make that happen. They wanted nothing less than to make him look like he was this disgruntled person and all this shit. Like, and you saw the other day or last week when I showed you me and John Kincaid's conversation. I didn't get him mad until I said something about Philly media. I said classic Philly media, and that was it was almost like I told him that his mom was a whore. That's where his mind just was like, huh, what? So, why would you even say that about me? Like, because you're the problem, John. Your whole thing last week was Harper's not living up to his reputation or what he like. No, he's not living up to your standards. That's the difference. He's not living up to your standards.
But right.
No, but I will get to know her. But that's the issue here. That has always been the issue here. Like I saw again, jerk off Jack Fritz last week or the other day when a quarterback got drafted by Indianapolis. His first thought in like the 5th round, a quarterback gets drafted, and his first thought was, "Is Carson going to be upset?" No, he's not going to get upset. He got like it's way different than Jalen Hurts getting drafted than a fucking 5th round jitbag who's never going to even fucking see the field. There's a difference. And he's like it was a joke. Like, no, you're not funny though. You are not funny. And like that's where like it comes down. That's what it comes down to. We're talking about the fucking stupid Philly media. Like, and different people. John Kincaid was the other day with me and him, and then Jack Fritz, who I've been trying to get to come back at me, but he refuses because he knows he's a fucking moron. I'll put him in a grave.
Right, and it's to your point exactly. Is the Philly media is like I know we got off topic for a little bit, but
yeah,
but we're talking about the media, and when I came at I got into a little bit of a debate with Marcus Hayes on Twitter, and I'm like, you guys created this. And they're like, no, we didn't. I'm like, no, we didn't. You don't want him to talk to the media. Why should he talk to the media? He's the backup quarterback. Backup quarterbacks don't talk to the media. And I'm like, he's going, and then we're going back and forth. I'm like, congratulations on the Philadelphia sports media, and congratulations to you on running another star athlete out of town. And he blocked me on Twitter.
Of course he did, because that's all he knows how to do. That's all they know how to do is block people.
Like, you're a clown. And the other guy for the Eagles, ESP, he's a clown too.
But, he's a fucking joke. But like they all think that the only reason that he took his ball and left. No, he didn't. He didn't take his ball and leave. You made him do that. I know this isn't an Eagles podcast, but like you like this is the shit that happens here. And I'm telling you right now, if it gets any further, like I know Harper's a professional. He's not going to sit there and he's not going to sulk. He's not going to he don't give a fuck. He's been getting talked about since he was 16. He really don't care. But like when you have a guy, there's a reason why people don't want to sign here. And there's a reason why they have a hard time bringing people in. And it's because all they get told, and don't get me wrong, national media is just as bad as local when it comes up, because they overdo about Philadelphia. They think all we are is soft pretzels and fucking cheesesteaks. But throwing snowballs at Santa, which is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard. It was fucking 40 years ago. Get over it.
But the moon landing didn't even happen yet. But no, it goes to your point. Like, how are the Phillies going to bring in any more free agents? When just look at the media. Like, think about it. Bryce Harper. Name a name bigger than him in any other sports that the Flyers could have that the Flyers, that the Sixers, that the Eagles, any of them who brought in anybody. Like you can't. You got to go back to To, and then Danny Briere of the Flyers, who was a hot commodity. There's no one on the Sixers who Elton Brand. Yeah, like JJ Redick. Like, are they really that hot commodities?
Chris Webber was probably the last one that I was excited about.
Chris Webber.
Yeah, Al Horford. That was a good one.
There you go. But do you see my point? Like there's a trend there. When
also Peter Forsberg was a really good sign when the Flyers brought him in. That was a big deal. That was a big deal when he came here.
He wasn't good though.
No, hey, I mean that's a lot of players that come here. We either get them at the end of their career or we get their brothers. Remember with Jason? We had the wrong Giambi for what felt like forever, but it was only like a year or two.
Right.
Jeremy Giambi was terrible. Like,
there you go. All right, Jeremy Roenick. So that was before. That was in the early 2000s. So that's a good sign. So think about 2000s. You had Jeremy Roenick and you had Danny Briere, and then you had the crazy Ilya Brizgalov.
That dude was the man.
I love him. So think about that, and then you go to, you go to the Phillies. If you Bryce Harper, I can't think of if I really dug into it, Lou DiMaggio. Like if you really dug into it, like I couldn't think of anybody. Like Danny Tartabull had one at bat here. Greg Jeffries, David Bell. Like we don't get these big times.
We had Ron Gant like 5 years after his prime too.
I think it was 5 years after his prime.
Yeah.
So, but and that's what it comes down to when you just look at like who are the Phillies going to bring in to help this team next year? Because I had them pegged for 87 wins. They could very easily be close to 87 wins. How bad the East is. Joe Girardi doesn't know how to manage. He doesn't. It's amazing. He doesn't know how to manage.
They need to stop thinking that
Jim Thome, that was a good one.
They need to stop. They need to stop thinking that bringing free agents in is what's going to save them. You can't keep depending on free agency every year because the free agent market's always up and down. It's never this great. Like we saw a really good one, 3 years ago?
Yeah, with Machado and Harper.
That was a really, really good class. This year had the potentials of being a good class. But you got to stop thinking that you have to compete every year in free agency in order for you to win.
No,
there's different ways.
Players.
There's different ways to win. Exactly. The way that they won the World Series had very little to do with free agency. Very, very little to do with free agency. Did they bring some guys in? Yes, of course. But they had the Rule 5 draft that brought in Victorino. They signed a minor league deal, I believe, with Jason Worth. That's how they brought him in. It wasn't like there was this influx of talent in the offseason that they brought in. Jamie Moore when he was 75 years old. They had Joe Blanton. It wasn't like this huge group of fucking great players.
No, their infield with the exception of third base was all homegrown.
Yeah, Pedro Feliz was another one that they brought in via free agency. But it was just a need. They needed a third baseman. They went and got it. This is the problem here, is that they're not signing for needs. They're signing for just people to come into the stadium.
Yep.
Which kind of it ended up coming back to bite them because look what happened. 2 years, it ended up being the 2 times that they had him, the 2 years that they've had him, there's been limited. 2 of the 3 years have been limited capacity. One had nothing. The other year has limited. So in 2 of the 3 years, you brought in Harper, and I love Harper, and I think it was a great signing for them. But it's more than just signing free agency, going through free agency. Sign the right players. Go after needs every year. But they're not doing that. Look at the bullpen. The bullpen's already shot. We're in May. The rotation is fucking awful after 1 and 2 or 1, 2, 3. Eflin's pitching really well. After the first 3, I was listening to the radio on my way home, and Larry Anderson said it perfect. Your 4 or 5 guys, you don't need them to be absolute studs. You need
5. 5 innings. That's all you need from them.
Yeah, you need them to get you through the game. You need innings eaters. And I brought up Kyle Kendrick last week, and I forget who it was. I did something like, "Oh, that's a low bar," but Kyle Kendrick 8 innings. That's all he did.
He was
He never got his he like yeah. Did he have games where he looked like shit? Of course, but like he knew what he was. He goes out there, gives you 5 innings, and then he rolls. Like we're not looking really, and he might give up. He'll probably give up 3 runs, which is what it is. That's limited damage.
right, and that was the thing you got from him because between the other guys you had pitching, they would go 6 7 innings, and your other guys would be rested, and you'd be good to go. We don't have a Kyle Kendrick, and
No,
I don't know how we're gonna get a Kyle Kendrick type player. Like you wanted the guy from
they don't have an Anna Kendrick. They have literally nothing. Like that's where they're like I like Chase Anderson. Chase Anderson is actually filling a good need there, and I think he's doing very well. It's that 5 spot. Like for instance, tonight, like Vince Velasquez had what 30 pitches in the first inning.
Yeah, he's
The fuck, and how's he pitching right now?
he's up to 81. It's the top of the fifth.
Yeah, don't strain your eyes over there, Chris. I can just look it up.
I'm looking at it. No, I'm looking. I just
yeah, he's got 5 Ks. I mean, he's been getting fucking shelled, and like it can't be. He cannot be out. Like he's into the fifth right now, which is nice, which is what they need him to do. But he's lucky. He's got a lead. So this is one of the plus days that they have with him.
yes.
But like he's still got 80 pitches in 4+ innings. Like you can't have that. I love Papelbon.
Oh,
Like,
listen, everyone told me I was crazy for loving Papelbon. I'm like, that dude was an automatic save guy. I'm sorry. Listen, he was crazy enough, but
he was a closer.
Philly,
He was
Philly made it. Didn't want a crazy guy. They didn't like. They didn't like him. I was actually just watching a video of when him and Joe West got into it when he like grabbed his crotch and Joe West threw him out, and then Joe West grabbed him up.
dude. I like Boston, so like we used to watch when I would watch Red Sox games and he would be pitching. It was fucking great, dude. He was one of those guys. Like I would take him over a lot of pitchers. I would take him over a ton of relievers, dude. Like he was just a nut. He started off as a starter and just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna be out here and be that most dominant closer." He's a save leader for 2 different teams now, 2 historic teams too, in the Phillies and the Red Sox.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I can't say any really bad thing about Jonathan Papelbon.
I think me and my buddy Jeremy were at Papelbon's game when he set the career record for saves by a Philly. They were playing the Pirates, and Frank Gore threw the guy out at home plate to end the game.
Yeah, and like it's kind of funny because like when you look at like their history, it's kind of crazy that their saves leaders are. I mean, Jose Mesa was the fucking saves leader for what felt like forever.
Right.
So it's guys like that like really make you like, it's kind of crazy. It is.
You just look at the franchise and how much of a joke they are. Like Jose Mesa, like what?
Joe Table.
Right, and then you have what's his name? Then you have Papelbon, and you're just like, oh my god.
I mean, Brad Lidge is probably the most consistent closer they've ever had.
Yeah.
I love when Ricky Batalico makes it like he was a great closer. That's one of my favorite days because he was fucking
Ricky Bell. I was never
Ricky
a fan of
Bell.
Ricky.
He sucked. I watched him get his. I remember I watched him get his ass kicked by Barry Bonds at a game. It was like a Sunday. It was a Sunday day game, and the Phillies were playing at the Vet, and he threw and hit. He hit Barry in like the back or something, and Barry walked halfway to first base, ran to the onto the mound, and beat the living piss out of him. It was fucking great.
Nice. So, but all right. So let's get a little back on topic. So we're talking about the Phillies. We did the Joe Girardi. Just the subbing and the constant lineup changes. Well, not the non-lineup changes, but playing everybody. This isn't little league. Like I don't know what else do you want from Girardi? Like we're not gonna talk about Bryce Harper batting leadoff because it's like talking into the wind. It's all it is. So like I don't know what else we can get from Joe Girardi that will make any real Phillies fan happy, because you're starting to see that fans aren't happy with Joe Girardi. They're not. Like, they're people are starting to come around that, all right, maybe he's not this great manager that he was made out to be.
He's not. He is exactly what everyone thought he was. Like he's exactly the opposite of what everyone thought he was. Is what I meant. He doesn't know how to manage an actual game, and it's just like a full on game. But I mean, I get it. Yeah, like
And now the Giants are like 7 or 8 games over 500. Like,
yeah, and listen, Gabe was not allowed to do a lot of shit here. And I feel like that's also something that needs to be talked about as well. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Gabe was this great manager, but Gabe also thinks like new baseball. He thinks new baseball. He doesn't, and it's, I guess you can call it Moneyball, but it really isn't Moneyball anymore. Like, that's not like, because you're still paying, now you're paying for these players at a high rate. So it's really not, it kind of went like Moneyball really was when the A's decided that they were going to go bottom sellers and just buy like the Scott Hatteberg and, you know, fucking David Justice at a cheap price to do something that they've been doing their whole careers. But like, now you're like, there's good players who get drafted for these reasons. And I don't know. It's just like it's not really Moneyball, but like it's kind of more smart baseball. Like old man justice. That's right. And I think isn't that the line in the movie? Yeah. Old man justice.
Old man justice. Yep.
But that's what it is. It's now they're not going, like, these younger players are like, look at Mike Trout. Mike Trout is a complete new age player. High on base percentage, high slugging, high OPS. He is just an overall. He doesn't steal a crazy amount, which is a risk as it is. So it's not like, I don't know. It's just something that they need. Like, the Phillies don't have that. I feel like every team has an analytics guy now, but like, I feel like the manager is not putting the analytical smartness into the game anymore with the Phillies. And he's now getting out coached because he is not smart enough to catch up to what they're doing.
No, you're right. Like, it's you, but people are another stat that people talk about is, you know, obviously the Phillies have been striking out an awful lot lately. Like, but that's just how baseball is. And the Phillies, I think that the Phillies are like the second highest team in batting average in the league at like 248.
Yeah, I mean, that's nationally. I'm not sure if they're second, but they're definitely. They're not too far off there, but like, this is the new age of baseball. The 3 true outcomes: home run, walk, strikeout. That's the 3 true outcomes. And I know not a lot of people agree with it, but like, it's the truth. That's how baseball has become, and people hate it. But what the fuck are you going to do? You're not like that. Like, if that's looking like it's a winning formula, like the Braves. I mean, not the Braves. The Dodgers. I don't think people realize just how analytical that team is. Like, they come from the Rays. Their owner, like their GM is a Rays GM. So
last week, the Phillies were 6th in the league in batting at 245.
Now they're 17th in all of baseball.
17th at 232.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's a week. That's a week of bad baseball.
Yeah, I mean, but then you look at who's in the top 10. The Nationals are batting 253. They're tied for 4th. They're in a 3-way tie for 4th. The Mets are in 9th, and the Braves are 12th. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why you're struggling. And it's because they don't know how to manipulate their lineup right. And that's that's a huge problem. And I say this every week. I say this every single week. It's Band-Aids on bullet wounds. And that's why they can't put together a nice team. Because instead of trying to do that and trying to build, they're not trying to build anything. What they're trying to do is just get through seasons. They have to stop doing that because now you're going to see what the fucking issue is, and it's ownership. It goes from ownership down. That is their problem, and it's continuing going to be the problem. Like they're gonna waste all these years of Harper, and they are. It just is what it is. They're unless they figure something out within like the next like 2 years, 3 years, they're gonna waste his whole career here because he's already 27, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's 27. In 3 years, will be 30, which is he'll be entering the prime of his career, which is crazy that he's then going to enter the prime.
He's 28
like,
years old, just turned 28.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's what it is. You heard him say it the other day in his interview about that. I don't like, and that's another thing. Like, we got to stop pushing guys to play out of position too. Like, I get it. We want Maton in the lineup. I think he should be in the lineup, but it doesn't mean that he has to play center field because their center field position stinks. He might not play center field.
No,
I need to know that. Put him in left. He's not a center fielder. Center field is a huge opportunity. It's a huge job. Like you're the captain of the outfield. Like anything up the middle, and I've said this before. Anything up the middle, you don't put guys out of position up the middle. But like, I don't know. There's a lot of issues with this team, and I don't and they're little small issues that can be tweaked. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I mean, hey, we've seen he's played center before. He played center for the Phillies before.
Yeah, Bill.
Like so, it's
we had mentioned. I brought that up earlier. I don't think you were logged in yet, but we had said about moving Harper to center field.
You could do that
and put figure out who can go to right field and then put Maton in left field.
I mean, and I bring this up a lot. Like, look what the Braves do with their lineup construction. Like they have their best player and center fielder in Ronald Acuna leading off. Ronald Acuna is not, but he's not like some burner. I don't think he's any faster than Harper is.
Look at Fernando Tatis.
Yeah, I mean,
he's batting not lead off, and he's batting like 250. Well, the last time I checked, before he went off on the Dodgers, he was batting like 250.
Batting average doesn't really matter.
No, but I'm saying
I don't care.
That'll be people's argument. Well,
yeah, but and that's
Tatis is ridiculously. They just posted his stats of like his first 162 games. It's ridiculous, his stats. It's just not fair. And the Flyers are winning 4-0. Get the hell out of here.
He had 47 home runs in 162 games played. No, I'm not. I'm not good with Quinn batting 100. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying like he's also not even getting on base. So he's just a fucking wash as it is. And I said this earlier. He's not valuable in the least bit to this team. But batting average, I'm not like over the moon about batting average. I don't need him. I don't need someone to bat. I don't need everyone on my team to bat 300. Like that's just not possible. Not everybody on the team's gonna like. And some of the best players don't even bat 300. A lot of the good. Look at Mike Schmidt. I think Mike Schmidt's career batting average is like 260. Yeah, like he's not like a career 300 hitter. But he's a great hitter.
So Tatis is batting 240. He's got 600 slugging. His on base is 326. His OPS is 926. He's got 5 stolen bases. So he's got 10 walks though. Yeah,
926. That's elite. That's an elite hitter.
But people won't look at that. They'll look at he's batting 240. That's what they'll say.
Cool. Then you know what? You keep sleeping on him because I'll be very, very happy to have him. If you don't want him because he's batting 240, that's fine with me.
We'll take him. I'll send you
exactly
right now.
Yeah, Roman Quinn,
Adubel Herrero.
I don't know. I'll figure out a way to get you here, but like I'll pay for your plane ticket. Like
we can start a GoFundMe.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. People need to stop looking at like just and that's the problem that was the problem that we had with Kincaid. Is that Kincaid looked at just batting average and said he needs to be better. Well, he's never been he never has he ever been a 300. I think he was a 300 hitter 1 year of his career. But it was MVP year.
That's the easy argument. Well, he doesn't bat 300. he's not driving in 100 runs. He only has 35 home runs. He doesn't have 45 doubles. He struck out 140 times. But he's got 100 walks. Like there's it's just the intangibles that they just don't look at, unfortunately, and it drives you up a wall.
Not even tangible. They don't even look. They just don't look at regular numbers. They don't. They look at one number and say that like average is not the number that shows me who's a good hitter and who's not. Average, to be honest, average is like the third number I look at to see about a hitter. Like it's not like I don't look at like I can tell you right now that not every that like some of the greatest hitters of all time don't bat fucking 300. Like that's it, they don't. I mean, and like I said, Mike Schmidt, who's the greatest offensive Philly ever, he doesn't even bat 300. Like I said, I think he bats like 260 if I'm not mistaken. Like he's not some crazy high average hitter.
Ricky Henderson batted 279.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like exactly. It's like, and you're going to tell me right now Ricky Henderson wasn't a great hitter because he was. Like it's 267 was Mike Schmidt's career average. So like if you're looking for if you're going to bash Harper, you're probably barking up the wrong tree there because there's some great hitters who've batted 260. Ricky's a top 10 maybe player of all time.
So here I'm going to start a little debate before we sign off. Wow, that's a really long ball that was just hit. Brooks Robinson or Mike Schmidt, in your opinion?
Mike Schmidt.
Better third base? Okay.
Third baseman, like defensively.
They're both third basemen.
Yeah. Defensively, Brooks Robinson. But offensively, Mike Schmidt.
I don't know. Like, how many Gold Gloves Brooks Robinson has 16 Gold Gloves. That's a lot. And I'm pretty sure whatchamacallit has just as many, or if not that.
Yeah, Brooks Robinson's defense is the reason why he's exactly. TK and Raz said his defense was like absolutely ridiculous. But
and he batted 267, and he only had 268 career home runs.
Yeah, while Mike Schmidt had almost 400 more, almost had 300 more home runs than him. So Mike Schmidt's a better hitter, and he's probably more valuable too because of his offense. But like, I'll tell you right now, who was more valuable.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. He had all the home runs.
I mean, Brooks Robinson. Put it this way: Brooks Robinson's career WRC plus was 104, right? The average hitter is 100. So he's just above average, right? Mike Schmidt's WRC plus was 147. So he's almost a player. He's almost an average. He's an average and a half player. Mike Schmidt's career F WAR was 106 and a half. Brooks Robinson was 80.2. So, I mean, and Brooks Robinson had over 1,000 more plate appearances than Mike Schmidt.
Right. And I'm sorry, Mike Schmidt only had 10 Gold Gloves. I thought he had more than that. That's crazy.
And so that's what I'm saying. But again, Gold Glove is not something that another one. That's another thing.
No. I was just looking at like.
Well, fuck. If you have a Gold Glove, I've seen Bobby Abreu get a Gold Glove.
Here we go.
And he might be the worst defensive outfielder of all time.
I gotta give it 5 seconds before TK rises or Will DeRosa comments on Bobby Abreu.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he was never a great defensive outfielder, but he has a Gold Glove. I think who was it? Was it Rafael Palmeiro? Rafael Palmeiro is not a good wasn't a good defensive first baseman, but he has Gold Gloves. Like it just is what it is. But like that's the truth of it. Like you're not going to find like just because people have Gold Gloves. Like Omar Vizquel has a ton of Gold Gloves, right?
Right.
Omar Vizquel's, I think he was like the best defensive shortstop in like 5 of those years, and I think he has 12. If I'm not, I could be wrong, but I know he's got a lot. I think it's like I think he has like 12. But like his last like 3, he won one with the fucking Giants, and he was half a fucking player at that point. Like he wasn't a good defensive player. They literally gave it to him because he won so many other ones. Like and I don't know. He's just one of those guys that I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but other people do. But like he's
They'll look. You know what? They'll look at his 9 Gold Gloves, and he's got 2,877 hits. That's what they'll.
who
Omar Vizquel.
he's got
They look.
11 Gold Gloves from
Let me.
93 to
Oh, I missed them too.
2001.
Okay.
From 93 to 2001, he won one, and then he won 2005 and 2006. Both 2005 and 2006, he should never have even been close to the Gold Glove. And I think the other ones were like the last like couple, he shouldn't have won one. He's
I
right.
love it. No, he's absolutely right.
He wasn't a good, but like he just didn't make errors, which is why they like
Right.
didn't look at that.
You know, it's easy to point. You know, like Jimmy Rollins. You know, how many errors did Jimmy Rollins really make? You know, when you go back, I don't know. Like Derek Jeter doesn't have that many.
But Derek Jeter, and he's another one. Derek Jeter gets so much love for him being like that, doing that over the back, like that jump throw. Derek Jeter wasn't a great defensive shortstop.
No, he made like 2 or 3 plays in the playoffs, and they still talk about it. Him going into the stands, and that play where Jason Giambi just was like, "I'm not going to slide into home. I'm going to go in feet first in the
Yeah,
playoffs,
I
in
mean,
the
yeah,
divisional series." So that's
yeah.
why Derek Jeter gets. I mean, other than being New York, but you know that's why. And you know who was the kid that made the jump throw the other day? Did you see that play? I think it was he plays for the Pirates, Frazier.
Adam Frazier.
Yeah, you got to look at it. He was literally in left field, and he did a jump throw and made it. And it
Like
was,
there's shortstops today that are 1,000 times better than Derek Jeter ever was.
oh yeah,
But they don't get enough. I mean, look at I think Francisco Lindor is going to go down as one of the best defensive shortstops ever. But he's not going to have all the Gold Gloves because they give it to random fucking people. They don't give it to they give it to. It's a popularity contest anymore, and it pretty much always has been. It's been that way for a
right.
long time. But like, it's not like the best defensive player doesn't always win the Gold Glove. Like Matt Chapman has consistently been the best defensive third baseman in baseball, but people keep talking about Nolan Arenado as being the best defensive third baseman. There's times where fucking Alex Bregman was the best defensive third baseman, but like they're going to keep giving it to him because he's Nolan Arenado at this point. He's ruled off a couple. So, but yeah, we're getting off
Well,
topic. But anyway,
no, it's a good topic. It's really not. It's hard to talk Phillies baseball right now.
yeah.
You know,
I mean,
Vince Velasquez got pulled. He's got 98 pitches. He threw 57 strikes. That's
yeah.
not good. That's not good. That 41 other pitches were balls. That's not good at all. Like, that's crazy. But
Yeah,
you
it's
know, so do you have any? You have any? Since he's not here, you have any? A heart take of the week.
heart take of the week.
We didn't have.
My
We didn't have a
hot.
beer. We
I don't
didn't
know.
have.
Yeah, the bit of a beer of the week. He ended up texting me. He said he wasn't able to come on because he was doing a 2 to 10 shift today, and he didn't find out until this morning. So
That's fine.
he apologizes for not being able to make it on, but I think we made it through today, Chris.
No, we did. We just didn't have the beer, the Stone Cold
The,
salute, and
yeah.
the heart take of the
Yeah.
week.
You know what? I'm not even going to even remotely say a heart take of the week. I'm gonna let him do it, and he'll send it to you. We'll put it on our Instagram, Twitter, and our Facebook. How about that?
Right. And so, guys, just make sure I can be a substitute teacher. Just make sure you like us on Instagram, and we're on. We are streaming to Phillyverse, and we're streaming to CEV Sports. So make sure you give us a like. John's got his Frozen Rope podcast on Wednesdays or Thursdays.
Thursday night at 8.
Thursday that he talks all Major League Baseball. It's actually pretty good, you know, for anybody who likes baseball. You know, everyone knows I'm a baseball guy. I know Danny goes on with you a couple times,
Yeah.
but yeah. So you know, tune into that. Um, then I'll be on Thursday at 5:30 talking hockey, and then I'm hoping that we'll be back on Sunday.
Yeah,
At
get everything back. We'll be back to normal next week. We had a lot
yeah,
going on in the last couple of
yeah.
days.
Hopefully the Phillies will be somewhat better than they are the last 2 games. You know, it's wishful thinking. So, but you know, make sure you like our pages. Like the Frozen Rope. They're on Twitter. They're on Instagram.
That's right.
You know, I'll share everything out on the social media pages. And unfortunately, there will be no heart take of the week this week.
There
So
will be, but it's just
it
not going
won't
to be
be
on
live.
here. It won't be
Yes,
live here.
it won't be live, and I'm
Yeah.
not doing anything hard take. I'll give
Nope.
you. I did a layup take. I did a layup parlay today. I bet all three Philly teams would win. I took the money line on all three teams.
Well, here's the hoping.
Oh, the Flyers are winning 4-0 because they're out of the playoffs. Of course, the Phillies are
Naturally.
winning 4-1, and then the Sixers. That might be the tough one because they had a back-to-back with last night's game.
Well, I think you're going to win. I think you got this.
So I'm hoping so. And then, like I said, there will be a new lineup of shows that we'll put out. So make sure you give us a like. Definitely tune into the Frozen Rope. It's a good baseball show. Will so. And do you guys only stream on Facebook, or do you have
We
anything
stream
on
on we
Twitter?
stream on we stream on Facebook. We also stream on YouTube as well. You go
Okay.
that's with another media group called The Buzz that I've been with for probably about 4 months now. I've been with them. Well, probably like 4 episodes into the Frozen Road podcast is when I started going with them. So I've been with them for a little bit now. They're good people over there as well. So
So, but yeah, like I said, give them a listen. It's a good baseball show. So
yes, sir.
I thoroughly enjoy it. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining.
All right,
See
boys.
you on Sunday. Hopefully, talking better Phillies baseball.
Hopefully, better things are ahead.
Maybe we can trade Joe Girardi for Gabe Kapler. So, all right, John, I'll talk to him.
I'm
See
in.
you
See ya.
guys.